Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are doing more PvP battles, jungle battles of course, and we're going up against Matty. Now we only have 3 games against Matty. That's what he wanted. He wanted to do 3 games, not best 2 out of 3. He just wanted 3 games in total. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, he was using a few unique Pokemon I've never actually went up against. One being this Pokemon right here. I've never really faced that. Maybe I did in, what was it allowed in? The Tempest Cup? I don't remember. I think I might have faced it once. I just didn't really play too much about it or know too much about it, but that's okay. And he was also using Vespiquen, which is another Pokemon that I do want to try out. So I just, I haven't yet. I have a lucky one, I just haven't powered it up. So we do want to try out Vespiquen and whatnot. But yeah, so a bunch of unique Pokemon, including that Breloom, although Breloom's not that bad. Breloom's a pretty good Pokemon in my opinion. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to go up against Matty. So his channel link will be in the description down below. He's actually almost at 2,000 subscribers. Unless if he passed that, he might have passed that prior to this video going live. So if he did, congratulations on that. But definitely go subscribe to him regardless. He's an awesome dude. He makes awesome content. So you definitely want to go ahead and subscribe to him. And we had some epic battles, only 3. So we're battling him, and then we're battling somebody else who I just hit Ultra Friends with. But yeah, this was actually a close one. He actually had that dynamic punch. I did not click on that body slam because I didn't realize I had a body slam fully charged up. So we might have been able to get that off before he got off dynamic punch and win. But I don't know. But either way, he does go ahead and pick up game 1. Mistake on our end, but it is what it is. So yeah, so that was a good game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into game number 2. He does begin with that Vespiquen, and we begin with Noctowl. Going to go ahead and use Sky Attack, switching out to Lantern ASAP because Lantern can take these hits. I was thinking of trying out Charge Beam Lantern just to give it a try. I'm not really too sure which one I would prefer. I know Charge Beam does get to like Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump faster, obviously. But we'll have to see. But yeah, we're just charging a bunch of energy. We can knock it out with Water Gun, so we have Thunderbolt, we have Hydro Pump ready to go. He does have Shield, but hopefully we could steal him from him. And he actually does not block that, but you saw how much damage that did to a Breloom. And that's because Breloom is just so frail, so we actually get off another Thunderbolt, and that's going to force one of his shields, so I'll definitely take that. I think that was worth it. So he brings in his Vespiquen. I blocked this because I know Vespiquen has Power Gem. Now, I didn't know his had Power Gem, but I knew it does have Power Gem, so I didn't want to take the chance. So we go ahead and block that, and we get off another Sky Attack onto his Vespiquen, and that's going to knock it out, and that's actually going to bring up the win for us. So a little bit of, something happened at the end or whatnot, but not a big deal. So yeah, we weren't planning on best 2 out of 3. It ended up turning out that way, but we were going to play 3 games regardless. But for the final game, we begin with that Vigoroth, the king of the jungle. He does begin with his Noctowl. We're going to go ahead and take this Sky Attack. And I know we could take it. He actually pulls the switch into Bayleaf. Now, I feel like I made a mistake here. I actually go for back-to-back body slams. I should have switched out after the first body slam and still had energy left over, so I felt like that was a mistake. But we do bring in Noctowl and finish it off, but we would have had energy in the back on Vigoroth if we switched right after the first body slam. So I do feel like that one was a mistake on my end, but that's okay. You play, you learn, right? Anyway, he does go for the body slam. We're going to go ahead and block that because we can get off a Sky Attack right now, which will take his shield, or one of his shields, I should say. He's actually going to go ahead and get off another body slam, but I decided to let it go through, and we actually survive. I didn't know that we would survive. I thought we would, but I thought it would be very close, so I actually switch out into my Lantern. So we have Noctowl left in the back, a little bit of health. He does hit us with a Nightshade, which I don't think I've faced a Nightshade Noctowl before. I'm not too sure about that, but it was very interesting. Not that it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't think it is, but I have Psychic on mine, so we actually do knock it out with Water Gun, and he brings in his Vigoroth, and this Thunderbolt is going to be able to knock out Vigoroth. So we do actually take out his whole team without losing the Pokemon, so that was pretty cool. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, that's nice. But we do go ahead and I guess win that set, even though we weren't playing the set. But good game, Matty. Definitely go check him out in the description down below. But game 2, my next opponent, we actually had just reached Ultra Friends today. He's like, hey, you want to battle? I'm like, absolutely. So we go ahead and we do quite a bit of battle. So this is actually a relatively longer video for you. But we switch out into Noctowl, and then he switches out into Venomoth. And I was a little bit surprised at that because I mean, we still have an advantage with Noctowl. So I would have switched out to that Vigoroth. I wouldn't have switched out to Venomoth against Noctowl, but it is what it is. That's what happens. That's okay. I may have been a misclick. I don't know. I have no idea, but I've certainly misclicked before. You know. So anyway, we bring out our Lantern just to get a bunch of water guns onto him, and he's gonna go ahead and hit us with a body slam. We can take that, and he switches into Venusaur. So we're gonna have to pull the switch because that Venusaur has Razor Leaf. And that's just going to tear through any Pokemon. That even does damage to Noctowl. That's how strong Razor Leaf is. So I actually do want to try out a Razor Leaf user, whether it be on Venusaur or something else. I'm probably going to switch Vine Whip over to Razor Leaf just to try it out, because I do think Razor Leaf is a good move. So I do want to try it out. But either way, we do go ahead and take game one. So thanks for the matches. Thanks for all of the battles. I had a lot of fun. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the next match. We lead with Lantern, and he leads with Fortress. Now, this could be bad for us depending on if he has Earthquake. And I don't know how long it takes, how many bug bites it takes to get to an Earthquake. So I wasn't counting on anything because I don't know. So this could have been an Earthquake. So I go ahead and block it. I had no idea. It was actually just a Rock Tomb, so probably a mistake on my end. You saw how much Razor Leaf did. Wow, even to Noctowl that resisted, it's still like digging into it, isn't it? So really interesting. But we're gonna go ahead and take that Friendly Plant. I figured because he had Razor Leaf, it wasn't enough to get to a Sludge Bomb that fast, but we do go ahead and use Sky Attack, and he's going to let his Venusaur fall. So I noticed because we showed each other our teams, and we actually only had like one Pokemon difference, like one different Pokemon. He had a Venomoth, and I had a Heracross. I think that was the only difference, but yeah, I noticed against his team, Noctowl was strong against like 3 Pokemon, so that's why I wanted to bring Noctowl every game. I find myself bringing Vigoroth, Lantern, and Noctowl all the time. Just because I love those Pokemon, and they seem to work the best for me. I love that combination of Pokemon. But either way, he does go ahead and block that, and we're trying to knock him out. Unfortunately, we are not able to knock him out, but we could bring in Vigoroth and feint him with the counter. He's going to get off Thunderbolt. Now, I knew I could live this, and I'm glad I didn't have a shield left because I wanted to see how much damage I would take. I knew I would survive it. I just didn't know how much I would be left with. I thought it would do a little bit more, but we actually take that relatively well. So yeah, we do go ahead and win that match. So it was yet another good game, of course, another good game. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into, I think this is our 3rd match. So we begin with Fortress, and he begins with Noctowl. So this isn't actually the worst matchup for us because Fortress resists flying attacks, but at the same time it's also Bug, so it's neutral altogether because Steel resists, Bug is weak to it, so it's neutral to those moves. So it's not the worst, it could be, but either way, he gets off his Sky Attack. He finishes us first, but we did take a shield from him, and we go ahead and bring in Vigoroth right now. Gonna go ahead and get off that Body Slam, doing as much damage as possible, trying to knock him out. And he actually gets off a Sky Attack, so I decide to keep my Vigoroth healthy at that point, and we knock him out with counter. So we have a Body Slam ready to go, and we're almost ready for a Bulldoze, so that's pretty good for us. So 2 Body Slams ready to go. I know we can get him back to back. We hit him with that Body Slam, and then we hit him with another Body Slam. That's why I love Vigoroth. We could just spam, and then we actually switch out to Noctowl to take this Body Slam because, well, actually it was a Brick Break. I thought it was a Body Slam. So he has Brick Break and Body Slam, which is good to know. But I don't know if that switch was the best switch in the world because he could go ahead and switch into Lantern, which obviously is not good for us. But this is one of the reasons I like Psychic. That actually does a decent amount of damage to Lantern. But because it has Charge Beam, it's able to get up to Thunderbolt fast, and it's going to be able to knock us out. So that's unfortunate for us. So I didn't think I was going to win this one, but we do hit him with Body Slam to knock out Lantern. And then the final Pokemon is Vigoroth, and we just about win with literally 1 HP. So we just win. Very close game, very good game. Had a lot of fun in that one, but picking up more rewards, a rare candy, a Sinnoh Stone, I always take that. But yeah, I don't feel like I should have made that switch. It's okay to make mistakes, as I said, even if it's in a tournament, because you learn, you get better. I mean, I've been doing these videos since the Boulder Cup, and I did win the Boulder Cup, but I've gotten a lot better since then, right? So, but anyway, we go ahead, use a Psychic, and of course we're going to go ahead and pull the switch ASAP out of there into Vigoroth, and we're going to go ahead and block this. And yeah, just because we didn't want to take any damage from that, right? You know, I knew I could survive it, obviously, because I did before, but we didn't want to take any damage from that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and throw up our last shield against Thunderbolt, and we do hit him with a Body Slam right now, which is going to knock out Lantern. So we do go ahead and take that Lantern, so that's good for us, but at the same time we're out of shield, so you do have to be careful. Unfortunately, he's able to hit us with a Brick Break, but we actually survive because of how weak Brick Break is. I think we would have survived that Body Slam as well. Although I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would have survived, but I think we would have been a little bit lower. But either way, we bring in Lantern, and he's going to hit us with another Body Slam, but of course we could take that. And he brings in his Fortress right now. So we're just charging up for Hydro Pump, getting off that Hydro Pump right now, and that is going to do a lot of damage. Switching into Noctowl to take this Rock Tomb, so that knocks out Noctowl, so we can come back in, have a healthy Lantern, and then he brings in Vigoroth, and we're able to knock it out. Not a healthy Lantern, but a Lantern that survived, basically. You know, so, but even without the switch, I feel like we still would have won that either way. But for this match, we begin with Vigoroth, and he does begin with his Lantern, with that Charge Beam. Now, you guys know I use Charge Beam Lantern for the Rainbow Cup. I have Water Gun on mine right now. I like Water Gun, but at the same time, I also might like Charge Beam, so I might try out Charge Beam just to see. It does beat the Mirror match, and it does, as you know, get to Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump a lot faster, so. But anyway, we go ahead and block this Brick Break. We could have survived that, but we blocked it anyway, and then we knock him out with Body Slam in the bank, ready to go, and relatively close to a Bulldoze. We actually do pull off that Bulldoze, and we hit it, hoping he would think it was a Body Slam, but he doesn't fall for it. So, because at this point we haven't used Bulldoze against him. He's probably seen our previous videos, but we haven't used it against him, so I was hoping he would be thinking Body Slam, but no, he actually goes ahead and blocks it. So nice shield on his end. But we do go ahead and bring in a Lantern right now. As you can see, using Lantern a lot, Vigoroth a lot, and Lantern, Vigoroth, right? Using those Pokemon quite a bit just because I love them. I tend to do the best with them, Noctowl as well. So I love those three Pokemon, but he brings in his Lantern and he gets off Thunderbolt right away, so he had energy charged up in the bank, so that was good. But even if he had another Thunderbolt, which he didn't, we would have been able to survive that and still knock him out with Noctowl, but we do go ahead and win that one, so good game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another one, beginning with Vigoroth, and he does begin with Lantern. And you know, I would say if he had Water Gun on his Lantern, I would probably prefer having the Vigoroth, but the fact that he has Charge Beam, I probably prefer the Lantern, like if I were him. But he actually goes ahead and blocks that, so we get off back-to-back Body Slam, so we do take one of his shields, and not the second one because, you know, obviously he knows I don't have enough energy at that point, so we did take one of his shields. I'm going to go ahead and block this Thunderbolt because I thought I'd be able to knock him out, and I would have been able to, but he switches out, so we get off Body Slam against Venusaur, and we actually get knocked out before we get to switch, but we bring in Noctowl anyway. So Noctowl is going to be able to knock out Venusaur, of course. And then just waiting to see what he brings in. We have a bunch of energy in the bank. We're going to go for that Sky Attack. We could have tried to finish him off, but I didn't know how close he was to a Thunderbolt, so I decided not to chance it, but maybe I should have. But anyway, we use Sky Attack against Vigoroth, switching into Lantern to take the Body Slam or the Brick Break. It happens to be Body Slam, so we'll take that. And we'll just farm him up with energy because we know he doesn't have Bulldoze. Even if he did, he wouldn't have enough energy for it. And we could take Body Slams, plus we have a shield, so plus he's on his last Pokemon. So we felt pretty confident that game, so I did go ahead and we did go ahead and take that one. So another fine game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another one, and this is a perfect lead for us. We begin with Lantern. He does begin with Noctowl. He switches into his Lantern. I actually get off Thunderbolt right away. I was going to switch, but I decided not to. He actually blocks it and then gets off Thunderbolt. I decide to take that Thunderbolt, and yeah, so this is not a good matchup for us, but you know, I'm thinking, what should I switch into? I mean, I can't bring in Noctowl, maybe Heracross, but we decide to go for the Thunderbolt, so either taking his last shield or doing a good amount of damage to him. And now at this point I'm lagging, unfortunately, so there's nothing I could do. Now I didn't know if he was lagging. He wasn't, because you see my health just went down to red. It's not a big deal, you know, it's a practice match, but you know, anyway, we bring in Heracross to knock, or actually he switches. I thought we knocked it out, and that was a mistake on my end. That was an impulse switch. I immediately switched without seeing what he brought in. I was thinking he would switch into something like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking Vigoroth, so I should have stayed in with Heracross, so that was definitely a mistake on my end, or an impulse switch, as I said. Sometimes I do those. I switch immediately without seeing what they switch into, and sometimes it's either a bluff, you know, on their end. So that was definitely, whether it was a bluff or not, it was definitely a good switch, but we're able to knock him out, and we do have close combat and Megahorn ready to go, but yeah, not looking good. We do get off that close combat, but yeah, it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. It's neutral, but we're not able to get to a Megahorn, so he does go ahead and pick up that one. So that was a good game. All these games are good, of course. You know, I don't have to say it for it to be a good game. But for the next match, we begin with the Vigoroth. He does begin with the Venusaur, so that Razor Leaf is just tearing right through me, guys. But we do go ahead and get off a Body Slam, which is going to do a good amount of damage. And then we get off another one, so able to get off 2 Body Slams, which is good. He's going to go ahead and forfeit a shield. He actually uses his Frenzy Plant, which is good for us because he used up the energy, but I guess it wouldn't have mattered because we had the Noctowl. He actually switches out instead of allowing us to knock him out, but anyway, he has yeah, right now, so he gets off Body Slam, and that's not going to do a whole lot to us. We're going to go ahead and use the Sky Attack right now, and then switch out. Well, at least I try to switch out. I wasn't able to. It blocks, you know, sometimes you get those glitches. Nobody to blame. It just happens, right? It's the game, I guess. But either way, we have the Lantern, so pretty good matchup for us. We do go ahead and knock out that Vigoroth. I know he has a weak Pokemon in the back, and which is going to be that Venusaur. So he brings in Venusaur. We do knock it out, but he does take a lot of damage from us. So now I see his final Pokemon is that Lantern. So that's a little bit unfortunate for us. But we're able to get to another Thunderbolt. I did not think we would be able to get to this Thunderbolt. And at this point, I knew it was going to be game, because even if he got to a Thunderbolt, which he did, we still have a shield, so it didn't really matter. And then we're just able to knock out Lantern. So good game, good game. So we do go ahead and take that one. And we're moving on to one more game. Yeah. So, beginning with Lantern, he does begin with Venusaur, so this is familiar. Similar to the first match, definitely not favorable for us, so we have to switch ASAP. He switches into Lantern. I'm going to go ahead and use Psychic just to do as much damage as possible to that Lantern. I mean, that Lantern, even that Charge Beam is just doing a lot to us, so we'll just let Noctowl go. You know, I guess I should have switched into Vigoroth. That probably would have been the better switch, just because, you know, I know he doesn't have Heracross on his team, so how could he really counter Vigoroth that well? I don't know. But either way, now, at this point, I get a little bit greedy. I try to feint it out with counters, and it wasn't able to happen. So because of that, he's going to be able to take both of our shields. So that was probably another mistake, guys. I don't know. But definitely, you know, yeah, we tried to feint it out with counters. Didn't work out for us. Hit him with Body Slam. We're going to go ahead and throw another Body Slam. That was a mistake, but that's okay. At least we take both of his shields, but not able to get to that third Body Slam. He's able to knock us out with Frenzy Plant, and then we bring in Lantern, and yeah, Razor Leaf is just going to absolutely decimate us, you know. So we do knock it out, so that's good, but then he brings in Vigoroth to finish us off. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.